Hey everyone, welcome back to Vulnerability Let's Talk with Dr. Ayisha Zakia Jefferson. Today's topic is Who Are You Uninterrupted? This topic is pretty much like a part two to Are You Who You Want to Be? But we're definitely expanding on this. And so as usual, I have three amazing guests, more like family now because they're recurring panelists. But I have, hey Alondra, hey cousin Eric. I see you, Yolanda, so let me go ahead and invite you in. But we have, we have Dr. Katherine Igah-Phillips, who is an integrative doctor out of Atlanta. She's also a coach. We have Evony Cunningam, who is a licensed master social worker, also a coach. Obviously, I have a thing for life coaches. And then we have Miss Yolanda Stone, who's a life coach, who is an entrepreneur, who is a government contract worker, a multi-entrepreneur, and she's also a coach. So these amazing, dynamic Black women will be coming on to have this discussion. So let me bring them on in. I see you, Evony. Yolanda, I'm inviting you in now. Ebony, I just invited you. And then we'll be waiting on Kat.
Hello.
Hey, beautiful.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Hey,
Wonderful today. Hey.
Yolanda.
Hi.
Hey, my sunshine.
Hi.
All right, we're waiting on Kat. And so I was just explaining that this topic is pretty much, hey, Kelly, hey, Tonise, that this topic was kind of like a part two to be who you want to be. And it's just kind of going more in depth with us looking internally at ourselves. Because I believe that speaking topics like this, who would you be uninterrupted, is really like a pictorial prayer and like a manifestation for where it is that we desire to go. So if we speak it into existence, we can call it forth. And so hopefully people will see themselves through one of us in some kind of way. Hold on. I was thinking that Kat was in here. So I was trying to make sure that I didn't miss her. All right. So we'll give a couple more seconds. Ebony, while we're waiting on Dr. Kat, will you introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Evony Cunningam. Again, I'm a licensed master social worker. I'm also the founder of Sweetwater Life Coaching, where I help people identify their blockages. And I'm a veteran. I also work for the federal government. And I'm an intuitive medium. So
All right. All right. Love it. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Kat. Ooh!
Okay,
lady. You better bring it, girl. I said all the sunshine coming in. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm tardy. I just finished.
All right. Perfect. We always feel like we're always getting you on the edge, huh? Yeah.
I'm here.
You too, Yolanda, huh?
Oh my God.
All right.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Ebony, keep going.
Oh, keep going. Oh, you can find me on Sweetwater. I'm on Instagram at Sweetwater_LC. You can also find me on Facebook at Sweetwater. I think that's it.
Okay, that was good. I just want to make sure
me.
I didn't miss anything about you.
No, girl, I put it out there.
Okay. All right. So we're going to jump right into the first question. Who are you uninterrupted? Who would you be uninterrupted?
Well, so first of all, I had to say, okay, uninterrupted. What does that mean to me? So when I hear uninterrupted, I'm like, I feel like that means being present, like uninterrupted, actually being present, because I am in the future a lot and in the past. So to me, uninterrupted means being in alignment and being in flow, right? So you don't have a lot of resistance in the things that you're doing on a daily basis. If I was uninterrupted, I don't know. That's still a question for me, because if I look at myself, I'm like, man, I would probably, live in this like a lavish lifestyle, like loving the kids. I would probably homeschool. So I don't know. I get up and just plan my day accordingly. Like if I was uninterrupted, right? I would be going to yoga. I think I would just, the term they say, living my best life. But I don't know what that looks like because I am not uninterrupted.
Okay. And let me explain too, I want to make sure, because I forgot to say this part. Now, all these questions are not mine. And y'all know I teach literature and writing, and I want to throw out my credentials. I have a master's in literature and writing in African American literature, and then I have a PhD in leadership studies with a concentration in African American leadership. So in me being a researcher, I definitely believe in intellectual property. And I know I make mistakes sometimes, but I highly believe in quoting people when I borrow information. So I wanted to put out there, 5 of these questions are from a live, I won't even say from a live, it was from a reel I saw with this lady named Felicia Hatcher. So I want to make sure that I give credit to her. And she was actually quoting Tony Robbins, I believe, on some of these questions. And so pretty much the first 5 questions are questions that I pulled from her. So I want to make sure that I give a shout out to my sister. I don't know her, but I love the questions that she has. So I pulled from them, and then I also created some of my own questions in there. But I do believe intellectual property is extremely important, even if I'm quoting a friend. So I just wanted to say that. But Yolanda, yes, thank you so much for giving your explanation for uninterrupted. All right, who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
Because I had to sit with this for a minute. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But for me being uninterrupted, I think, again, it's another level of freedom for me. So I would just be a wealthy philanthropist, flying all around the world, doing what I want to do when I want to do it, assisting when I want to. So it's like, it's another form of just freedom for me. Like definitely doing what I want to do when I want to do it in a serving standpoint of it. So definitely that.
All right. All right. I love the philanthropy and the freedom. So that's a constant. I heard this, Yolanda said freedom in there too. All right, Kat.
I agree with both of my beautiful co-hosts here. I think that I don't even like, just the concept itself is so exciting for me. Like I feel like I'm gonna explode. Like I think I would just be like just become like a superhero or something. I don't even know what. Like it would be a very like free, but also like aligned, like purpose aligned situation where I am able to like go full throttle, just like healing the world. But nothing sacrificed from myself, like optimal self-care, and I'm just like glowing. And just like, it would just be like magic in all areas of my life. And just excitement to be here.
Yeah, I love how you add that too, about like how it doesn't have like potential negative impact on you. Before you got on, I was saying that I feel like us speaking through this conversation is actually like a pictorial prayer and a manifestation of what we want to call forth in our lives. So we do have to be very careful with like the management of our words as we're delivering this message in the best way possible. So I appreciate you kind of like editing yourself in that part, because I think that's important, because even when I talk sometimes, if I say something that I don't feel like is in favor for my life, I'll say cancel and delete, because I feel like, I just feel like it's all a prayer. And so I feel like, whoever is listening and answering these prayers, they don't know they'll grab onto it all. you know, whether it's good or bad. So it's important that we are very intentional about the words that we deliver out of our mouth. No, I love everything that was said. I was thinking about it too. So freedom, I didn't even say anything about freedom. So I think freedom is really good, because I know that is ultimately what I desire. But like under that underarching theme of who would I want to be uninterrupted, under the overarching theme of freedom, God's child. I'm always gonna give reverence there. Okay, so I'm gonna get deep. I'm gonna get a little deep for a second. I would be still God's child. I would still be Christ consciousness. I would still be African spirituality and African ancestor centered. I would be revolutionary. I would be a gypsy. I would be goddess-ish. I would be Ebonics, Black English vernacular, uninterrupted. I would be miracle worker. Because sometimes, you know, when I interact with people, I just want to say poof and then like help change their lives, you know? And so I'd probably be a dancer of some sort, writer. So a lot of the stuff I feel like I'm already doing, but with the freedom to know that I can do it at all times. Like my favorite parts of myself, I would be that all day long, you know, without the worry of money, without the worry of opinions, without the worry of, without the worry of my own negative self-thoughts too. You know, sometimes those, the backhanded things that like bubble up while I'm trying to be, So anyways, I feel like I'm going on and on now. Let's go on to the next question.
Oh, it's good.
So if nothing stood in the way of your success and being uninterrupted, what would your life look like? So I know some people kind of said some things, but let's just kind of like pull that for like, what would our lives look like on a day-to-day basis if nothing stood in the way?
For me, it'll be no pressure. Like it will just flow. Like I will be comfortable in my life just flowing, waking up, going throughout the day, no pressure, no, just peace. You know what I mean? Like I can't even, it's so overwhelming to even talk about it, to even put myself in that space of it to create it. It's like, oh my God, like the peace of my life. Like I'm waking up, I'm grateful for everything. I'm here, I'm present, I'm in the moment. It's like, it's all these different things that I think for me, it would be definitely just the peace of life. You know?
Yeah. Peace and presence is a gift within itself. So I really even thank you for saying that, because there's moments where I feel peace, but because I haven't had that level of peace, I'm like, oh, this must be peace. Like, because I don't have that like full definition of it. So if I have a moment where I actually feel it, I'm like, is this what peace feels like? So I love that you even said that, because that's a lot of that is what many of us strive for. So Yolanda or Kat, what would life look like a visionary picture?
I think for me, it would look like total harmony. So like, again, across all of the spheres would be harmonious, not necessarily like perfection, but just like, you know, everything is working together, flowing together in a balanced way. It would look like optimum health as the true wealth. So like,
Yes.
you know, reverse aging, disease
Yes.
free, tapped into the cheat code for everything, you know,
Yeah.
totally detoxed and free to just do whatever I can and want to,
Hmm.
uninhibited by like physical restrictions, emotional restrictions, mental restrictions.
Oh.
And then, but like everything smashed together, it would just look like massive impact, like leaving an imprint so deep that
Mm.
it's benefited, like so many people benefit from it for centuries and centuries and centuries to come.
Yeah.
Like Miss Lax and her sales.
Yes. No,
In a
I
good way.
love that.
In a
I didn't
good
even
way.
think about the physical aspect. That's really powerful. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Yolanda, you want to add?
Yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback off of what was already said. So the one of the things for me, success is actually redefining success for me. Usually I would attach success to money and
Mm.
a lot of goals, but now I am attaching it to just like waking up and feeling good, right? Tackling the tough conversations, but still being resilient, right?
Oh.
And just letting loose a lot of those goals. Um, and just day by day becoming a better version of me and not having the pressure, like, and the peace, like wanting the peace. So still being able to grow as a person and still having the peace to go with it. One is when I leave the federal government, that's success, right? Because I don't
Oh.
have that added pressure of, you know, being tied to the job all day and then still running multiple businesses, kids, fiance, you know, all of those things. So
Yeah.
just being able to go through my day, like, look, I want a chef, right? I'm just going to keep it 100. In order for me to be really healthy, I want a chef. I want a chef. I want somebody to come to my house. Hey, show me how to do yoga. Like, I want all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Call it forth, girl. Call it
Okay,
forth.
come on with
Yes.
it.
Ditto.
And like one of
Yeah.
my goals too for success, I would love to build a community for middle income. Obviously
Mm.
for me, I miss that. Like when I moved to the city, they don't really have anything for middle income. It's low income or high income. So I would love to be able to do that as a part of my success if I could have the life that I want to have. But
Yes.
I'm
Let's
going to
call it.
do it. It's only a little while away, but
Yes. I was about to say, I can't wait to look back and say, you called it forth. You
yeah.
did it. Yes. Awesome. So I'm gonna move on to the next question. If at every intersection of your life, the light was green, and Yolanda, that was a great segue because you already started. What would you build? If at in every intersection of your life, there's no yellow lights, there's no red lights, it's just green lights. What is it that you would build?
For me now, so I honestly, I want to homeschool my kids whenever I get that chance or
Mm.
bring something home to teach them. I'm a firm believer at this point in my life that the school system, of course, is rigged. So if my kids want to be an entrepreneur and still get an education if they choose to, then
Mm.
that's fine. But I want my kids to know there are no limits. Like nothing's off boundaries. So I want them to have a full life and don't say, hey, you know, I got to go to college. I got to work a 9 to 5 and I got to do this to pay all these bills. I really want for them to experience life. So if I could do something for like kids that are growing up to be entrepreneurs and teach them
Okay.
patience while still teaching them things that they need to know in the world. But I think I would like that.
All right. I love it. And I won't say it is needed. I'm not going to say it's actually needed or I feel like it's needed. Everything that you said is definitely needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And still teaching them the spiritual principles that we learn, the practical behind that, and just working on yourself. Like learning to work on yourself. If I would have known what I know now years ago, yeah, my life would be completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, if I knew then what I knew
Right.
now, dot, 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 dot. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, good. All right, Ebony Cat.
For me, it would definitely be to build a legacy beyond my family, beyond me. But not
Mm.
only to know that it will last beyond me in this lifetime, I actually want to see it. I want to be present. I want my flowers while I'm here. And I want to know that after my flowers out, it will continue on. So for me, building that legacy for my family beyond that, and just touching the world with that. So that's what I will be
Mm.
doing that, moving forward. That's it. Creating that.
Okay, I love the idea of legacy,
Mm-hmm.
especially dealing with family legacy. So yeah, a lot of times that's where we skip and we look outside of that, but that's really where it needs to begin. So good. Thank you. And Kat.
That was literally my answer. Was
Really?
but like no jokes is like all jokes aside, legacy was my answer. Like really deep rooted, long lasting legacy is what I would build. And with the consciousness of knowing that legacy is not just monetary.
Yes.
So also leaving behind like strong, deep rooted core values and character
Yes.
and just like passions and things that people can grab onto and make their own even and be inspired by, okay, I planted the seed, but it keeps flourishing and flourishing
Absolutely.
and impacting. So that's what I would be creating.
Yeah, no, I love all of this. I don't even think I initially had an answer for this. But my answer definitely would be dealing with a legacy of healing. So I'm constantly talking about generational trauma, historical generational trauma. So I feel like I would leave a legacy of healing that people can build on, so that they can. I would like to look at every person, and we often look at family or certain people as leaders in the family or in the community, but I think that everyone has a platform to be a leader because somebody's always watching someone. And so if I was to be intentional about everyone in my family having a position of leadership, I would be very intentional about all of them being healed. So if I could pass on anything, that probably would be the thing: healthy leadership. Yeah, in any kind of way. All right, so the next question is, so what interrupted you from the beginning? What do you feel? We're talking about who are you uninterrupted, but what are the things or experiences that you feel interrupted your journey?
I'll go first. For me, it was the lack of representation of what I was looking for. It was the lack of knowledge to know where to start. And it was the negative self-thoughts that I told myself that, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I shouldn't do it, or maybe I'm not going to be the first Black woman to do it. So it was like those interrupted me, and sometimes still do cycle in and try to interrupt me. So that from the beginning, it was always, who can I look to for this? That wasn't in my present, in my circle around me, in my community. I didn't have it. So where do I go to look for it? So, and it didn't click to me. Like, girl, you can go on the internet, and I'm talking about maybe like 10 years ago, you go on the internet, you can read books. But in the moment, you're not even thinking like, okay, I could read the book. It wasn't a thought. It was just like, I don't have it. Like, what's the knowledge? Where do I get it from? I was scrambling for knowledge.
Yeah. No, yeah, I love that. Especially, I'm all about representation. So yeah, good. Yolanda Cat?
For me, it was my environment growing up. So it was one narrative for me is get a 9 to 5, finish school, okay, go to college, maybe if you feel like it. But it was to work every day and to work hard every day, work long hours to get what you needed, right? And that was the narrative that I had until I started venturing out to like the federal government, leaving the little country. Now I'm going to the city to explore more, because all I knew was the country and the people that were in family. And so many things were limited to our beliefs and, you know, how everyone was raised. And then my cousin, my business partner, we're in business now, introduced entrepreneurship to me. I never knew that was a thing, right? Even though my dad did it, but it was in a different concept. I didn't really look at it that way. But being introduced to entrepreneurship and, oh, you can do something that's outside of a narrative, especially for Black people. You know, you're taught to do certain things. So for me, it was my environment, fear of not being good enough or that I can't do it, not having the money to do it. You know, what will others say? You know, especially with this spiritual journey, they're looking at me like, what? She can do what? You know, so it was a lot of, for me, limiting beliefs, fear, and then procrastination. I make excuses behind the fear for the procrastination. So yeah, for me, the biggest ones was my environment. It was my environment until I decided to switch the narrative and live beyond that.
Yeah. I won't say that I love that, but I resonate with a lot of what you just said. Yeah. I don't love that experience for you. Right. Let me just say that. But yeah, much of it resonates with me. Kat?
I love these answers because I resonate with them as well. I think the overarching umbrella for me, and I really am thinking of these answers like in real time in the moment. So yeah, it's like taking me through things. So I think for me, it really is a lack of trust in the society that I was born into.
Ooh.
And like the more that I come across, the more that is exposed to me, the more I'm like, you know, and that's across the board, whether it's trust in people to help me fulfill what I'm doing, to be able to delegate my pride and joy, my inner creations, to know that it's going to be protected and safe and not stolen or manipulated or taken advantage of or abused or narrative flipped around for someone else to serve someone else. And so I'm like, let me do it all. Let me do it all myself, which is very inefficient.
Yeah.
Like really detrimental from a self-care perspective.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like the more you know, it's like the more I'm exposed to worldly things and the truth behind them, especially in the field that I am in. It's like, why would I even like trust in my leaders and the people that's guiding me, the people I'm supposed to look to for mentorship, for answers? You know, it's like I got to do it all on my own. Yeah. And it's very overwhelming. And then that makes me get in my own way. Because then when I get overwhelmed, I shut down. Or I'm like, there's so many things to choose from to do. I'm just not going to do any of them. So I think that's really the root or the underlying theme is just everything just seems like a fraud to me sometimes.
Wow.
Like to just be very real. Like it just seems like we're in this video game or we're in this play on stage and everyone is being puppeteered and orchestrated and there's all these agendas and conspiracies and it's just like you can't see left from right and up from down and it's like, is this food really good for me?
Yeah.
Or is it not today?
Yeah.
Am I really supposed to drink the water? I mean, this life is, yeah. So I think that's what it is for me, for real.
Yeah. Questioning these old truths, right?
Yeah.
And having to unlearn and then relearn and recapture our own truths. So yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. That definitely hit me. So again, ditto, which is what I love on what everyone has said. One of the things that I was thinking about, and this actually came to me earlier, so I'm not going to say that I thought about it in real time, I was like, sometimes I do think about these in real time, but this is one that actually I feel like spirit brought to me. And I was like, gosh, where was my interruption? And the thing that came to me was, so I hope I explain this right, because I'm gonna do kind of like an analogy. So, when people, I allowed my master to be taken. And so let me just explain that. You know how when people like have albums, like there's like the Michael Jackson masters, there are like the Prince masters, and when those get sold off and they're like, somebody bought the masters, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a big deal. And then when they want to buy their masters back, sometimes it's super difficult, right? I feel like I was the master at the beginning, and because of all these interruptions, I allowed my master to be sold. And so I felt like that at some point in my life, like from my teens to my early 20s, I was close to mastering myself than I am now in life, in my later adult years. And so many things happen, not seeing myself, representations of myself online, like Evony said, not seeing certain things in my environment, having people tell me certain things about myself that I felt like there was like a sense of power with it. But then somebody would say, oh, why are you doing that? And I mean, something that even as simple, I've had a nose ring since I was 13 years old. And I'm using that even as a symbol. But I can remember somebody telling me, young, you will never get anywhere. You will never make it into certain circles because you have that nose ring. And even though PhD, even though coaching businesses and being like interjected in environments with incredible women like yourself, there are times in my mind that I'm still thinking, but I have this nose ring. Am I being taken serious? Because of something that was implanted in me years ago. So that's what I mean by allowing people to take my master. So I feel like I'm in this constant spinning wheel right now of repurchasing my masters. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's what came to me early, because I was like, what is the issue? And I'm like, because you did have it at one time. Now you're having to repurchase them, what happened to Yolanda? All right. I guess you'll be coming back on in just a second. We pray. So the next question is, as our uninterrupted selves, how do we carry that into professional meetings? How do we carry that into professional settings? How do we carry that into board meetings? All these different things. How do we carry this into the workplace? How do we carry this into the White House? How do we carry this into the government office? What does that even look like?
I think for me, it's the same. Like, why should I code switch?
Oh,
Like, I feel like if I'm uninterrupted, I'm going to show up as my whole self.
yes.
No matter what the environment is, no matter what the boardroom, who I'm around, in my profession. I mean, I worked today in a turban.
Yes.
Like
which I love.
Which a lot of people, no one came, like none of the patients were like, oh my gosh, my doctor has her head wrapped, her locks are wrapped up. Like, yes. I feel like the more I like subscribe to this, the freer I feel. And it did stem from, like what you said, somebody planting something early on, like, doctors don't do this.
Yes.
Doctors don't look like this. Doctors don't move like this. Doctors don't dress like this. And then I was like, oh my gosh, you know, and I, like, gotta get, like, no, when I let all of that go, things actually like improved for me professionally.
Yes.
And it's just been, people are more able to relate to me better. People are able to see themselves in me better. People just trust, but like myself and my words and my guidance better, just off of how I show up as just in a way that is authentic to me in all situations. So you're gonna get it in every situation. The same exact way.
I love that, because just like you said, once we allow ourselves to be uninterrupted, to be free and fully embody ourselves, then we give others the permission to do the same. And I'm quoting Marianne Williamson, and even in that, Evony?
I agree. I'm with you. Like, that's almost what I wanted to say. Like, for me, it's that confidence that you have. Like, look, it don't matter. I'm showing up as me. You take me as I am. I'm a little rough around the edges. Over at Sweetwater Life Coaching, we love God, but we cuss too. You know what I mean? Like, talk to me, Rob. What's going on with you? So it's like still showing up, and then understanding your lane. I master my lane. I master me. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. And I'm okay with allowing someone else to do what they can do and have their space. But understanding when it's my turn, when it's my space, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna go forward with it. So it's that confidence you have that, look, take me as I am. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Rough around the edge, not.
Yeah. No, yeah, I absolutely love that. Showing up as we are, knowing that we are the brand, knowing that we are the prototype, So Yolanda, did you get the question?
I did. I sneezed. My finger hit the wrong button.
Okay.
Sorry. So for me, I feel like I'm a chameleon. Like, I adapt to whatever situation I'm going in, because I have a very dominating personality. So I can't take that in every room that I sit in. So I adjust to my audience, and I actually love doing it because it makes me grow as a person. So I now, brutally honest, but yes, I do adapt in certain ways. But as far as being honest and a straight shooter, that's not going to change. But I adapt a lot.
Okay. All right, chameleon. I'm gonna have to learn from the chameleon. And I think, well, yes, Yolanda, you do have let me just go back in friend zone. Yes, Yolanda, you do have a dominating personality type. And it does at times permeate the whole atmosphere. So I do want to acknowledge that. But yes, I think, y'all know I'm always going to go into Black and brown beauty activism. I feel like since birth, we have been trained to do that, to become chameleons in our environments. Like, we're professionals. If there was a super script for that, that would be probably all of us in some fashion, and probably other Black and brown women who are watching that. And I love the way, Yolanda, that you have created a spin of positivity on it, because, there are times where I have reflected on that and I felt exhausted by it, thinking I got to switch up and do this. But the way that you're looking at it is like, nah, this is still me. But I understand that I sometimes got to peg it down a little bit to save everybody else. So yeah, I appreciate that. All right, so the tone is just going to change just a tad bit, but it's still going in alignment with the topic. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be in the moment? Like, just in the power of now. When's the last time that you allowed yourself to be that?
When I was at your house. That's my answer.
Wow. Really?
Mm-hmm. Like, completely, not like in out, because Hawaii was kind of like, but I was still working sometimes.
Okay.
But like, just fully, like, white coat off, just like, yeah, it was definitely when I was with you.
Oh, wow. Well, I feel like I want to cry.
I almost did too when thinking about it. I was like, when is the Costa Rica?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the vibes, like everything just allowed for that. And then sometimes you go somewhere and the place allows for that, but your residence is like, but like being with you, like you created an additional layer of space for that to happen. Like if you didn't get it from the outside, then I got it like from you and your hospitality and just your energy in your space is very healing. Is very healing. So you talking about you talking about your legacy being that of healing. I'm like, she's already doing it. You already are in alignment because I just showed up and I was like, oh, and started detoxing and healing and all the you saw it. And we didn't do anything but just be present.
Wow.
And that was one of the most beautiful experiences that I have had.
Wow.
So thank you for this question and thank you for that healing space.
Oh,
It's so sweet.
I know. Thank you, sister. Okay, now I'm like thrown off. Yolanda.
Oh, be in the moment. Be in the moment right now. Receive what she just said right now, because what she's saying is true. So absolutely, anyone that's in your presence. So receive that.
I so was not expecting that. All right. I'm really trying not to get choked up. Okay.
I'm letting you have your moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Receive your flowers, girl.
Okay, please.
Yeah. It was real, like palpable. This is not a fake, not a facade.
Okie dokie. Out of all the answers, I definitely wasn't expecting that. But yeah, I am first of all, it means a lot when people come and see me. But I am definitely very intentional. I'm a slap you, cat.
Oh my God.
I'm definitely very intentional about people feeling comfortable and people feeling at home and rest is a really big deal to me because I don't feel like people get enough of it. And I feel like we have to plan rest and even when we're resting, we still don't really know how to do it. And so I have definitely said I wanted to plan trips of like people just to rest and people just to like enjoy just being in the power of now. That literally when people walk in, it's my prayer. Like literally I walk around my house in that prayer. And so the fact that you are saying that you actually felt that when you came here, to me, that is a way of like that. I feel like God is like listening to me. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for that. Because I worry, there's a lot of people who they thrive off like the hustle and bustle. Let's go do this. Let's get this. And so I fear that it's not enough, that rest is not enough. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do like to give the gift of rest. So I'm constantly like, if you don't want to do anything, it's really okay. You're not offending me. But yeah. I'm okay with people shutting the door and just laying in the bed all day, you know? So yeah. All right, Yolanda and Evony, I was not. Thanks, Kat.
Oh, I love that. I just love it. You're done? You sure?
Yeah, I'm done.
You sure? You sure? Beautiful. Thank you, Kat, for sharing that. Definitely need it. So for me, okay, the habit of not being present was so bad. So I intentionally, today, I had several moments, right? So I'm so plugged into the business and the government. I literally have to say, you know what? I'm getting up for 5 minutes. I'm going in there with my fiance. So I did that today. And then my son, so school ended today for them. So
Okay.
his best friend got off the bus with him. And I said, okay, 3:30, I'm done, government. I'm not going to answer any calls. I took a couple business calls, but then after that, I was totally plugged into them, took them to get some food from, or I don't know if you guys know what Dairy Queen is, ice cream and stuff like that he wanted to do. And then my little one. So her just smiling, it always bring me back to the moment. And I'm like, oh my goodness, was I, because she's so innocent. So, like a lot of so hooked into your day is just when you see somebody that's so innocent and just so happy and laughing for no reason. Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely try to at least have like 10 minutes a day of just being in the moment and just thank God and just enjoying that moment.
Yeah. No, I love that.
I have to say, Yolanda, like I have to, it's a job. I have to do it.
Yeah. Well, your babies are your teachers too, huh?
Yes, honey.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah, the little one giving me a run for my money right now. So yes.
Yeah, thank you. How about you, Evony?
For me, it's pretty much the same every day, because I spent years shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and being in the past and being delayed and being stuck. And I was just like, for years. Ooh. And then when I finally realized, okay, I got to start enjoying my moments here because I'm missing them. And I'm tired of looking back all the time. And it was a heavy burden for me. And then sometimes I was like, okay, so I'm planning so far ahead in the future. It was becoming overwhelming for me. And I was like, I can't live like this. I can't be stuck in the past and then trying to focus on the future. There's no balance here. So every day I set an intention to take a moment. If it's just to walk outside and look at the sky, if it's to look at the stars, I don't care what it is. I do that because I need it, because I enjoy being in the moment now. I never was there. It took me a while to get here, but now I enjoy the moment and I appreciate it. And so now it's an everyday life. Like, to me, living a moment is natural for me now. But I had to get there. I was always in the past.
Good. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Then you had to give yourself your own personal training.
Yes. Like, come on, girl. I focus today.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Don't worry about tomorrow. Today,
Yeah.
So
good for you for even having that observation, because self-awareness is tough. It's key, but it's tough too. Sometimes we have to be called out, but the fact that you called yourself out is really, really big. Your own little personal cautionary tale. Good.
I was in misery. I kept questioning why I was stuck in misery, but I was thinking about the past. I was like, what are you thinking? I'm thinking about the past.
Yeah.
What I could have done, should have done, what I would have. So I was tired of it. I was tired of myself.
Yeah. Good. All right. I'm you see, I'm not answering as many questions as I usually do. I've been kind of like just moving on. Kat totally threw me off. Well, I guess I can go ahead and piggyback off of that too. The last time that I feel like I was in the now probably has been, I guess we just made a whole full ass announcement about being in Costa Rica. I haven't even really said I was in Costa Rica, but yes, I am currently living in Costa Rica, and it has been a force of awareness for me to learn to be in the power of now. And so I don't think that was when I first got here, but as each day goes by, I am learning to be present more and more. But it took a minute because I was constantly worrying about, what's going on in the States? What's going on with this person? Do I need to be doing this? I was constantly doing that. And then finally, like I literally set out a week to say, I'm not doing anything. If all I want to do is sleep, if all I want to do, I just allowed myself to be right there. And then that felt like after listening to you, Evony, maybe that was my own personal training ground. Because I was telling myself, I came here for a reason. And now I don't necessarily feel like I'm not feeling that feeling that I thought I was supposed to be feeling while I was here. And it was because I was doing the same things that I was doing at home, you know? And so I had to, you know, personally create my recreate my narrative and reimagine what does it look like to be in another country? What does it look like to be in another country with no GMOs? What does it mean to be in another country who has, you know, personal restriction on air quality? What does it mean to be in a country where I can see trees and animals I don't usually see in the States, like parrots and macaws? I allowed myself to like see those things. And I didn't see them initially. Like when I first got here, like I said, I was still in the hustle and bustle, but then I gave myself a moment and I was like, ooh, I breathe different. Ooh, that's a bird I haven't seen before. Ooh, I'm sleeping longer hours. But it took a couple months for the old stuff to come off. You know, I had to rinse myself off and then like, you know, reform in that. So yeah, so it took me being away. You know, I don't know if it's, you know, specifically Costa Rica, maybe it is just being away. I'm not sure, but yeah. So yeah, being in the power of now, I'm learning. All right. So I guess we kind of said this, but I feel like we can, you know, reiterate on this more. Who are the people who you feel safe around? Who are the people where you feel like you can be uninterrupted? What are those? Who are those people? Why we got silent?
We all smiling at
We're
each other.
thinking.
I know everybody. We gotta lean in. We gotta back. We gotta.
So when I think of safe, I kind of think of different things, right?
Okay.
Different areas with different people, I feel safe in, right? Even, you know, like my cousins, the one I have a business with, the other one, like I feel like totally safe with them. My fiance, you know, some areas I feel safe, some areas I don't feel safe. Depending on what the topic is.
Okay.
I'm thinking so I have a like a small circle, right?
Okay.
Like you're in that, you know, you're in that small circle, right? Cats, Ebony, like, so I have like my spirit tribe where I feel like I could just come to you guys and just be completely like vulnerable, right? Have different kinds of conversations and I don't feel no judgment from there, right? Different dynamics. So then when I go back to like to my cousins and my family, you know, I feel totally safe with some of them, but the dynamics are different, right? So they have a perception of me that you guys don't have. So I think it kind of depends on what we're talking about and what those areas are.
Gotcha.
How I used to be, not until I started just spiritual work, I didn't trust anybody. Probably just my mom before she left. She was probably about the only one until I started venturing out. I just didn't trust people in general.
Wow.
And that was I learned growing up because the things, you know, that was said behind your back, the gossiping, and the things that you just experienced. But I didn't trust. So where I am today, oh my goodness, where I'm actually open to receive that. But I am grateful for my small selection that I can trust. So probably like 10 years ago, I wouldn't be able to say it, but now I can say have a tribe.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Good. Well, I'm glad that you allowed yourself to open up.
Mhm.
And because I feel like there's even healing in that too, when we allow ourselves to unfold and you find your tribe.
Mhm.
Because there was a time period that I had too where it was like 5 people and I was like, this is it. I'm never, the tribe ain't opening. And then relationships redirected themselves. And
Mhm.
I had to widen the tribe and
Mhm.
reposition people. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the fact that you allowed yourself to open up and not shut down,
Mhm.
because so many people do that. Kat, Evony?
I actually agree with Yolanda. I keep my safe people small. But it's really not like I intentionally like cap it at a certain number. It's just that it's just that, and I'm not saying this is the right way, but just for me, I feel like people have to earn that spot. Like people have to earn that positioning. So my circles look like orbits. Like there's
Oh,
inner one, outer one, and then an outer one.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people in my social circle that I would not necessarily say I feel safe, like completely safe.
Mm-hmm.
People who I put in that category have demonstrated to me consistently, time and time again, in multiple environments across multiple spheres of my life. Like to Yolanda's point, do I my health, but not with my finances? Do I feel safe, with myself, but not with my child? Like I just really was looking for those people that I could just say, I feel safe, period. Like,
Yeah.
why do I need to? So then that pushed all those people who were in certain categories like further out. Right. And I had to make space for the people who I could say, oh yeah, if something was wrong with me as the only doctor in the room, I would trust that you would take care of me.
Yeah.
And know what to do. And I would leave my child with you.
Yeah.
And I would feel comfortable and safe. So those people, my core, the three amigos, me, Sean Justice,
Yeah.
and then my siblings
Yeah.
and parents would be the next one, because we were all we had in this entire country. The
Yeah.
rest of my family in Nigeria. So that became my safe space, like, quickly. And then I have friends that I consider family that are in that space,
Yeah.
who know that they are in that space. It's never something that has to be called out, validated. It's, if you're in that space, I've leaned on you for
Yeah.
things, for something, outside of, like, let's all go to the party, like,
Yeah.
if you've contributed towards my life journey in a positive way, like y'all here on this live,
Yeah.
like, that also makes me feel safe. Like, you're not just here to take. Like, it's a reciprocity.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can help you, but you help me too. Like, I feel like I could just call Yolanda anytime. I did for some business.
Yeah.
I
No,
just
for
feel
real.
like, it's just like, it's just like, I don't have to be the give. Like, I don't have to only hear from you when something is wrong, when someone is sick, when something is hurt, when someone has a disease, when someone, you check on me. Am I okay? That makes me feel safe around. I hope I answered the question with all of that.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You did. Yeah, you answered it very clearly. How about you, Evony?
Oh, I resonate with everything everyone has said. And just to be transparent, just to speak on myself, like, the only people that I felt safe with for, majority of my life was my parents. And then everybody else was like, you got to try out. Like, what are you doing? And then it can be situational. I can be safe in one area and not safe in the other. And so therefore, I that as me not being fully safe with you. So now I'm cautious with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's kind of iffy. And even in that, you know, I'm learning to give grace in that area because, you know, I'm still working on some things within myself to understand that, you know, everybody is not here to take. Everybody is not here to, you know, pull from you, but to help me grow, develop. And to be honest, it's still developing because I still put people through trial and I'm very patient. Like I would test your ass to the end of time just to see would you not cross that T.
Yes.
But I'm understanding because I have met so many beautiful people and of
Yes.
course you ladies that have shown me that it's okay, that other people outside of your family can be a safe space and it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's constant. The genuine is constant. It's like I don't have to wait on something because it's never changing because it's showing up every time. And when I'm not showing up, it's still showing up. And when I'm like, oh, I don't trust it. No, we're here. Call me, girl.
Yeah.
How are you? Checking in on me. And I'm like, she just texts me and I'm having a horrible day.
Yeah.
And, you know, those things make me understand the importance of remaining open and genuine and actually trusting people outside of that. But to just be transparent, my parents were the only person that I would say, you know what, this is me. Because they, you know, that was easily acceptable of who I was and didn't judge what I had to do. I had a really great parent with that. But yeah, it's developing.
Yeah.
I'm riding the journey because I'm still learning. I'm still opening up. I'm still understanding what trust is for me.
Wow. Yeah. Once again, you're going back to your self-awareness and training ground. So you
Social worker, I got a self-assessment.
Yeah.
I check myself every day.
Self-assessment, that inventory is so important. Y'all have me thinking, because I think what I was initially going to say, I kind of changed up a little bit. So I have to go ahead and admit that. I feel like for me, my safe place started out with the mothers in my family. So my mom, my grandmother, my godmother, the aunties, and let me just say this: it was mom, granny, godmother. But then I had to learn when I talk to my mom, it's automatically going to the aunties. So I would think it was a secret, and then I would go around them, and then they'd be like rubbing my back or something, and I'm like, hold up, did she tell you? You know what I was? But so I would say I would consider them extended mothers, and then so that was that, and then my dad, he got his own little tangent because he's a dad. And so you can't tell him too much because then he goes into like helicopter mode and he wants to handle and do, you know what I'm saying? And so he is a safe space, but I know there's certain areas I have to guard, not for my protection, for his, because he's just ready to jump and move and do. And then I would probably say next is my cousins. And we all of us, there was a ton of us. So there, you know, there was a period in time where our family, even though we weren't immigrants, we lived like, we mimicked like many immigrant families. All of us lived together. All the aunties, all the cousins, the grandparents, the moms, like everybody lived in the same house and we were sleeping on top of each other. And so I didn't have to tether who I was and what I did and how I felt and all that kind of stuff. We seen everything about, we peed in the bed together. You know what I'm saying? So I could just be myself unfolded around them. But I realized that was an extreme comfort zone because me and my cousins went to elementary school together. Me and my cousins went to middle school together. Me and my cousins went to high school together. I didn't have to have other friends in between there, you know, and even if we were mad at each other, we didn't betray each other. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew they would still have my back regardless. But then we grew up and then we kind of expanded. And so I did have to open myself up to other people. And that was really, really scary. But I have learned, so yes, this group right here, I have, you know, friends from elementary school and from, well, not elementary school, middle school, that I feel super, super safe around in high school. But that within itself was a journey. So yeah, I had, you know, different levels to that circle, but I'm super, super grateful for, you know, my friend circle now. And if you know me, and I know all three of y'all specifically know, it's hard to break in. It ain't no just jump in like, hi, like Ayisha just don't run up and hug and love you and open. I am not that. I'm learning to be that person. I think I am inside somewhere. It just don't come up automatically. And I think our experiences, or my own personal experiences, kind of locked me up a little bit. But I'm learning to open. So I hope I even answered my own question of who am I safe around? Where am I uninterrupted? And like, what does that tribe look like? That's what that looks like for me.
I have one thing to add.
Sure.
So really quickly, when you said aunties, my mind just went. So when my mom transitioned in 2018, I have my one aunt where she completely leaned in and kind of filled a lot of those roles for my mom. And she still does today. If she doesn't hear from me, she's calling me. So I was like, oh my God, I cannot say her.
Yes.
But she's a staple in my life since my mom died. So even like with my two cousins, there's three of them. So that's the mom. So they have played a huge part in my life of even being safe. Because like once she transitioned, I'm like, what does this look like? Like, you know, because I would even pick up the phone and still call for my mom, even though she had passed.
I know that feeling. Yeah. Yeah. Not, you know, not my mom, but my godmom. But yeah, still listening to messages, still. Yeah. All right. So 2 more questions. What happens when you don't allow yourself to show up as your authentic self? What do you think happens to us?
I'm just gonna say I'm a bitch a lot of times. Like my personality, I can be moody. Like when I'm not my authentic self, my mood completely shifts. It completely shifts. And like when I say maybe not my authentic self, maybe because it's like a tough situation and I'm not dealing with it in a manner that I should. So it's like it knocks me off of my even keel. So I'm being out of character. I think those are the moments for me when I don't feel like I show up as my authentic self. Is when I'm offbeat, or I let somebody take me off of my higher vibration and getting low. I think for those, that's when I'm not my authentic self. Okay. I'm being petty.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? What happens when you don't show up as your authentic self? What happens when we don't show up uninterrupted on a continuous basis?
Oh, on a okay. Well, for me, I think it is an obvious internal friction that I cannot ignore. Like, I can't just be like, well, you know, let's just play it off and keep, like, I cannot. And I'm not a good play it off person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Like, I'll just call a spade and be like, I gotta go. Like, this is not. So for me, because I'm very like analytical, I'll go in here. So it'll be like Yolanda, but it'll be on the inside. Like a little volcano, like, and then I'm like computer science, like trying to engineer the situation. Like, okay, who's responsible for this? They're getting shifted to the next ring of the social circle. Okay, how did I get here? Okay, I need to not ever get here again. Okay, what's the circumstances? Okay, I need to shift my life so I don't ever. So like, that's where I go, and it's automatic. I guess because like I'm always in fixer mode. It's automatically like, how can I fix this? And how can I prevent this from ever happening again? Because this is not a good feeling that I'm having right now.
Yeah. All right, good. Yeah, I can relate as a over analyzer, over processor. So
Yeah.
yeah. Ebony,
Um, I think I skipped this question.
you skipped. That's okay. You don't even have to
I
answer
think
all
I
the
did.
questions.
What was it again?
What
Like,
happens when you don't show up as your authentic self? What happens when you continuously don't allow yourself to show up uninterrupted?
yeah, I do a lot of self-sabotaging. I
Mm.
do a lot of isolation. Like, I'll be like, I ain't doing it. I'm done with it. I'll go ghost real quick.
Yeah.
So for me, it's and I definitely it's a lot of frustration. I definitely turn mean. And so I think because I turn so mean, I have to step away. I have to isolate. I
Mm-hmm.
know
Yep.
that that's going to be projected
Yep.
and it's going to be delivered. And so for me to prevent that, I will completely separate myself.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's the self-sabotaging that I do, and then the thoughts of, okay, look, this ain't it. And like Dr. K said, I cannot fake it.
Yeah.
I'll start shaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not worth it. It becomes a headache and it becomes overwhelming to the fact that, why am I putting myself through this? I don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's like, okay, it's time to step away.
Yeah.
And I do. And I'm okay
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. Yeah. No good. Well, you pretty much said that what I was going to say. I, I don't think initially I'm aware of it, but I have moments where if I feel like I'm not showing up as my authentic self, which I do make very intentional attempts to do that. I remember I had a time, and this is not so long ago, where I was looking in the mirror, but I literally couldn't see my face. And I don't know if anybody is familiar with that feeling, but I was literally looking and was like, you don't look like you. I I because I just felt like I was just constantly showing up in places where I wasn't presenting myself as Ayisha Zakia. And so I had to like reevaluate like what's happening, why are you feeling this way? And then isolation happens. And so for me, it was literally a shutdown and a shut in. And shut down and shut in, sometimes that sounds cute because, people think rainy days with booties and we're going to watch movies all day. No, it was shut down, shut in, no lights on, TV off. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there was nothing that was speaking to me. I'm a music head. Nothing was speaking to me. So I knew something else was going on. I couldn't see my reflection. And so I knew, yeah, I wasn't presenting myself. It was constantly not presenting myself as my authentic self. And it was almost like there was like a hardening, something like I was cementing myself and I was somewhere underneath that. So I literally had, and then it's not easy to break out of it. Like I had to like break out of, hammer out to rediscover who I am, you know? So again, kind of what I said earlier, repurchasing my masters. I'm still repurchasing that master, you know? And it's expensive. Repurchasing that master is not cheap. It's expensive. My repurchasing master is therapy, life coaching, eating healthy foods. You know what I'm saying? It's not cheap to having hard, Yolanda said this earlier, having hard conversations with a lot of people. So discovering you don't like people that you thought you liked. That's another part of it too. Realizing, I don't even know why we're even really hanging out. Like I think I'm just doing that because we got a lot of time, but I don't know that this is working anymore. But that's hard. Breakups are hard for me in any kind of way. Friendships, all of that. So I will hold on. Um, so last question. How do you begin to hone in to yourself? How do we allow ourselves, if there's like a step-by-step manual of how to be uninterrupted you, what does that look like? And it doesn't, you don't have to say like a number of things. We can all just kind of throw out things. How do we, what are some steps if somebody is listening and they need some type of manual? What are some things that work for you?
Oh,
For me, I would say getting clear about what I want in the first place, like my vision.
Yeah.
So sitting with myself, sitting with God, you know, spending that quiet time to actually make sure that what I'm pushing out and manifesting is exactly the way that I want it to show up.
Yes.
And the other thing I would say, a couple of questions ago, we talked about the safe people, like the people that you feel safe around. They're safe for a reason. So I would lean into them.
Yeah.
And not try to muscle through this on your own. Because in those moments where you feel like you just want to retreat or give up or just get ghost, like Evony was saying, where you're just like in this little revolving pit of like nothingness, it takes for one of those people to reach in and pull you out. Woo. Or to open the blinds, like let the light in, like, hey,
yeah,
you're not acting the same. And then, but you got to listen to them. Like when they try to give you advice, because I know a lot of times my husband will tell me stuff and it's like, like, I don't want to hear it, but I need to hear it.
Yeah.
And I have to like listen to it because I'm the one that's in the cloud.
Yeah.
Like you can't see your way through. And that's like by design. Like even like physiologically, when you're stressing out, brain clarity goes down. Like you're not supposed to be able to rationalize stuff. You're supposed to just be impulsive. So you do have to rely on external stimuli to help you to navigate your way through things. And it starts with those people that you consider safe. So those would be my main 2 ways to get started.
Love it. Thank you.
Oh, I would say coaching.
Ooh.
Coaching is a step. And being true to yourself, meaning if we're having a conversation and you trigger me, a lot of times I'd be like, all right, I'm about to get off the phone, or I may say something smart, but now I'm like, I'm trying to understand within myself, why am I feeling something? What's bubbling on the inside of me right now? So I all day, every day, because I have a lot of triggers that I'm still working through. And I feel working through those make me a more rounded person. And now I'm asking for help.
Yeah.
So if I know that I can do it, I can't do everything. Like I'm the one, I can do it. I don't never do it. So now I know, like Kat said, I can reach on other people and I can say, hey, can you help me with this? And then giving yourself grace, basically, right? Giving yourself grace. Like Kat said, having a plan identified. You don't know where you're going to go if you don't have a plan. You're just going to keep going and attempting to do something, but what is that something? So like Kat said, your vision. And then so a lot of times it's the people that are close to you. So Kat also mentioned her husband. That is so eye-opening when somebody's like, Yolanda, and I'm like, oh, darn, I have to start like, you're right. I did do that. You know, it's always those learning moments. And even the kids, I'm always learning something every day. Or John, I keep calling my son Jonathan. Or Jordan may be like, well, mommy, you know, you're on your phone, so I'm just on my, and I'm like, oh, wow, I got to watch my behavior, right? So it's just attention. For me, it's like paying attention to the little things, getting clear on what that plan is going to be. But like, working on yourself or even trying to master yourself is the biggest thing, and you need other people to get there because you can't do it alone.
No, I love all that. Those closest to us too.
I second.
And sometimes we look over. I'm sorry, Evony. Sometimes we overlook those that are the closest, like our mates, like the children. So good. All right, Ebony, I'm sorry. I interrupted. I apologize.
No, apologize. I was just saying, I second all of that plus, what I would say and what I would leave people with is to knowing that, you are enough. And it sounds cliche, but it's something I have to tell myself every day because every day you want to be like, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough? Is this good?
Yeah.
I'm enough, right? And I give myself that moment. So I definitely want to leave people with that. Really understand what that is for yourself. Not what somebody else is saying, but it is for them, for you.
Yeah.
Because I know what it is, because it reminds me of, okay, it's okay if I didn't finish this today. I'm enough. I've done enough. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could just write a whole little book right here.
Right.
all this little advice, all these little nuggets. Yes, absolutely. The only thing I think I'll add, I thought I wasn't going to add anything, would be how do we honor ourselves and show up interrupted. If I had to give one thing, would be not to compare. And so I know we hear that and it's cliche, but we're surrounded in a world that is constantly showing demonstrations of other things and other people and how to do this, and you should do this, and you need to look like this, and you need to walk like this, and you need to go here, and you need to, all these things. It's like, well, what do you want to do? What do you look like? What is day-to-day life for you? What actually makes you feel good? Like, we have to sit with that and know what really works for us, because when we're constantly in that spin of comparison, I think that we get lost in who we are and what it is that we actually want, what we actually enjoy, what actually makes us feel good. Some people will say, diamonds and, traveling all over the world and do certain stuff. I know people who are super happy that have none of that. Ain't got no diamonds. They ain't been nowhere but Greensboro, North Carolina, and they are okay with me not playing cards on Friday, eating chicken wings. You know what I'm saying? And they are happier than a whole lot of us, So figure out like what it is, what works for you without the comparisons, Yeah. Yeah.
Can I add one more thing too?
Okay.
You guys helped me to trigger in my mind, but I would also say to start to relearn how to really love yourself. Like, I think that people, like, our definitions of self-love are very subjective, but also a little like shallow, for lack of a better term. And you have to really understand what that means.
Yeah.
Like, if you really honor and love yourself, you would not want to like put trash in your body, or you would want to make it an effort to like deal with your mental health, or you would try, like, it would just have you go about things as like it's a priority and not like it's a chore. And then it'll have you start looking outward, like, okay, these people that I say I love, if I'm like, cheering you on, taking 8 shots of Patron, like, how is that? Like, how, like, I'm endorsing things that I know is not serving you.
Yes.
And I really had to be aware of this for myself, for my family, from the people I was considering safe, to say, like, what am I pushing? What am I supporting? What am I, even for myself? And then that'll have you moving differently through life and through all of this, because you're a priority. You're important.
Yeah.
You deserve all of this, and you are worthy of everything that we've talked about today. And just knowing that is the first step. Some people don't even know that they can achieve the magnitude of what we carry today in this conversation.
Wow. No, so good. That was a good nugget for me. You got to give yourself life. Know your definition of life. Know your definition of loving yourself first.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. That was a good nugget, friend. All right, ladies. I'm always going to end. I tried to last time. I think I forgot. Tell us how we find you. Tell us how we tune into you. We'll start with you, Kat.
Okay. You can find me all platforms, Elevate with Dr. K, Elevate with DRK. Social media, the website is elevatewithdrk.com. And my practice is Mind, Body, Spirit Wellness Center in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yolanda?
Oh, okay. All right. You can find me at yolandajstone.com or on Instagram, Yolanda Psychic Medium. I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and you can find me on Facebook at Sweetwater Life Coaching. You can find me on Instagram at Sweetwater_LC.
All right.
I think I'm on TikTok too, but you just find me on Instagram. I gotta get more active on TikTok, but definitely find me on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. All right. And Yolanda, you didn't specifically say your business name. Are you not sharing that? I'm calling you all out on live.
Oh, it's actually YolandaJstone.com. I just do business under there.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
No.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Yeah. I just wanted to be sure. Okay. And you can find me at Ayisha Zakia Beautiful Life. It's all my sites are like that. And life is spelled LYF. And obviously you can click on here if you're watching from this particular platform. But Beautiful Life is my website for my services as well. But there is a link in my Instagram to go to my website. All right, and I wanted to make sure I call people out. So Elegance and Focus Magazine said she enjoyed the live stream very much. Ladies, enjoy our awesome job. Kelly says, hey, Tony said this was amazing and so needed. Thank you so much, everybody. And if I missed your comments, please charge it to my head and not my heart. All right. I will see y'all next week. Thank you.
Bye.